Good day, Granbury. Welcome to this segment of our City Manager's Report. We're here today with our City Manager, Wayne McKethern. We're going to talk a little bit about some of the happenings around town, and there's a lot going on in Granbury right now, and I think our citizens are really excited about hearing from you and what is happening. Last night, we did finish up with our latest City Council meeting, and there were a lot of approvals last night. There were some changes within our city budget, and would you like to talk about that a little bit, Mike?
Well, yeah, absolutely. We basically approved the budget for 2013-14, and so we're excited about that. There were some changes made where we actually approved a purchase of term life insurance for our police officers. Tony Allen had recommended that, and the council approved it. It allows us to supply just another level of confidence to our officers that when they're out there at the beat and on, in action, they know that their families will be taken care of. And so we're going to basically purchase a $1 million insurance policy for each officer that would make sure that his family was taken care of if something, God forbid, were to happen. So we feel good about that. We want to take care of our officers. We're proud of our officers and our police force, and I think that's the right thing to do.
And I noticed there was a really good contingent of officers there last night, and I know that when that passed, the audience kind of broke out in a round of applause, and I think that was a very good thing that the city had done or has done for the officers and for our city.
Yeah, and our city has gone through a situation where it brought it to attention, and so we as representatives of the citizenry wanted to do something for the officers. So.
Well, I think that's good, and I'm very proud of Tony for bringing that forward to the city. I know there were some changes with our taxes, and we had talked a little bit about some of
the... a couple of things before we leave that. They did approve a budget adjustment for the city council to also be tested for drugs.
Very good.
Just like the employees, they're going to go through the same process that the employees go through, and I think that's good. There's still going to have to be, it's going to be brought up in the next session to do a resolution for that, but the money was put in the budget for that, and that'll be discussed in the next meeting.
Very good. And there were some changes, I think, with our tax rate.
Yes, we actually lowered the tax rate to the effective tax rate, and the effective tax rate is really the rate on existing properties that would generate the same level of revenue. So that we lowered the tax rate so that even with increases in valuation in total, we're not getting any more revenue off of existing properties and existing taxpayers than we did the year before.
And Wayne, just to help the average citizen in Granbury, how would that affect our average citizen?
If in fact your valuation did not change, then your taxes go down, okay? Because the tax rate went down. And in many cases, with the situation with the lake, which we'll talk about in a minute, there have been some adjustments to valuation where the actual valuation went down. So now the rate's going down and the valuation is going down. So some people should see significant reductions in their taxation.
Very good. And I know there was some discussion last night also in regards to the tourism piece where potentially we could have a change with our transportation on the square.
Oh, yes. We the trolley that everybody's seen and seem to have, been interested in terms of the usage of that trolley. It has seen its last days. We have just driven that until it's no longer something that we want to continue. We're going to try and sell it so someone can fix it up at a very reduced price. But we think that going forward we have an opportunity to improve the transportation through rentals of vans, and also we're going to put a tram operation in place to take you to and from parking lots. We notice that people, when they shop, and we want them to feel very interested in shopping, they're carrying these bags, they're carrying them back to the parking lots. We want to assist them in buying whatever they want to buy so that they can easily get back to their car with their packages. And so that'll help the vendors, that'll help the city generate more sales tax. And we just think it'll just improve the flow of traffic and everything else in the square. So
I noticed with the two larger parking lots that we have available for the square, they're anywhere from 100 yards to the other one, the newest one, is almost 300 yards from the nearest shopping area. So this tram could potentially really help business down on the square.
And the demographics of the people that come to our square, it's just going to assist some of those people that would need assistance in getting back to the parking lot, especially with packages. So,
absolutely.
So we see it as a real positive for everyone.
So some very good things that came out of council last night.
Yes.
I noticed also over the last several weeks we've had some very intense discussions, and you'd already brought this up earlier about the lake levels. And I know that everyone you talk to in Granbury is going to have a different opinion. And they're either far one side or another, but there's always a different opinion. And everybody has an opinion even regarding the Brazos River Authority. But these intense discussions are fairly lengthy. And talk to us a little bit about how the city has gotten involved in its fight and discussions with Brazos River Authority.
Yes. Well, we have had discussions with them, and this is actually a response to the BRA's request to sell an additional 400,000 acre feet of water out of the basin, out of the Brazos River Basin. And so that's a lot of water. There's 325,000 acres, 325,000 gallons in 1 acre foot, and they're requesting to sell 400,000 more acre feet, okay? That's trillions of gallons of water. Now, we have decided, our council has decided that would have a real increased detriment to our lake levels. And therefore, we have objected, or we have opposed them being awarded that additional 400,000 acre feet. And we've hired lawyers to make that argument. And we had our first administrative hearing on August 26th down in Austin, and it went very well. We were able to get many of the things that we wanted done, which was a delay in the actual hearings themselves from January to April of next year. And actually it's May, it's the first week of May. And so that gives and we're not the only participant that's objecting. Possum Kingdom, Limestone, Lake Limestone, all up and down the river, the Friends of the Brazos. They want to make sure that the water in the basin is properly managed, and that also the people who live on the basin are taken care of, not only just the people who would like to buy water from the BRA. So we think that a quality of life of people on the basin is just as important as making money, for the BRA. And so we basically, that's why we've taken the position that we've taken. So like I said, the hearings now will be delayed until May. There were a lot of issues, including the SB3 legislation that's being proposed that had not been included in the analysis of the impacts. That could lead to even greater delays, which works to our advantage because that's more time that there's still that 400,000 feet of water in the basin.
Sure.
So we were very pleased. We thought the hearings went very well. We're continuing to prepare and go forward.
I know that's a very challenging role to come up with a conclusion on this, but in your just professional opinion, how long do you feel like that this is going to take, or for us to be able to get some resolve to this?
Well, based on the results of the August 26th hearing, we know it'll take at least another year.
Okay.
And from that, it could go farther than that. So we're a year and a half to 2 years from getting a resolution on it.
Okay. Let's switch gears just a little bit, and I want to talk a little bit more about tourism. Tourism is obviously one of our more huge pieces of economic development here in Granbury. And with the city's purchase of the Opera House, what type of impact do you see that making on Granbury?
Well, we see the Opera House as a really shining star, so to speak. Regional theater has been under really a lot of stress. Okay, regional theater is definitely an expense that it can be either incurred or not incurred. And so when times get tough, that's one of the things that, disposable income is very important to regional theaters. But the good news is that regional theater is also the people who are, shall we say, well off enjoy regional theater.
Sure.
And those are the kind of customers we're interested in bringing to Granbury, to tell you the truth.
Absolutely.
If someone that has some money wants to spend it. And so we see that as an offset to the lake, okay? And we've invested in something that's going to be it's going to be the first class theater. I was talking to some people at Granbury Theater Company, and they said we could bring, the Moscow Ballet here if we wanted to. The floor is like the best made, okay? Those kind of things that are important to performers. And so everything in it is first class.
Including technology
And technology, yes, we're going to make it available, okay? We took it to there is a committee that decides on the expenditures, and right now we weren't going to invest we were going to make it where it's easily installed, but we were not going to make that investment yet because we're looking 10 years down the road. And we want to make sure that the technology's there to do whatever we need to do. And we're going to have other things than just regional theater. We're planning on international conferences. We have some people here in Granbury who have contacts that can bring in people from all over the world to speak, and that's going to draw people as well. There's lots of things that we can do in a theater that looks and is that size.
Absolutely.
And it's historic.
and potentially working even with our own high school.
Oh, yes. In fact, we're very excited about that. We're going to have a program where we have a children's school where we produce and do productions with local children that will attract. That's the quickest way you get mom and dad and grandpa and grandma into town, is to have their grandchild or child in a performance. And we're going to have that. We're going to have the performance at Opera House, which hopefully will generate people who are interested in the theater. And it's just an arts world in Granbury. There's a lot of people who love the arts.
And I can see a lot of those kids at high school really vying to play and produce and act on a first-class stage.
Yes.
That's unsurpassed anything in this region.
It is. And, we have as good a theater as any in Fort Worth or Dallas at this point.
Absolutely.
And even the theaters in Fort Worth and Dallas were having some stress. I know whenever we were negotiating or basically involved with making the decision, they were interested in saying, hey, we might come down and do some performances. We're in the process of negotiating a contract with Granbury Theater Company because they've done an excellent job. But there's real interest. That shows you the type of interest that is, and we'll be able to bring actors in from Dallas-Fort Worth who would love to work on the stage. Granbury Granbury Opera House just has a history that is amazing. And I've told this story before, but I was in Manhattan Island. I was on Manhattan Island making a presentation on a bond issue to Standard & Poor's, where you're going to issue. You have to go and you have to convince them that you want them to loan you the money. And I'm sitting down at this presentation where analysts come in, and this person sits down on the front row right in front of me and looks at the presentation material, and he says, I'm in Manhattan Island. He says, my grandmother loves Granbury Opera House. And I go, that was the last thing I expected to see in Manhattan Island, or to hear. And of course, there was a reason why. He had graduated from University of Texas and went to work for S&P in New York. But, you run into that all the time. People know Granbury and they know the Opera House. It has had a real history of developing people that have been on Broadway. So we're pretty excited about it.
In my travels throughout the state, I don't know that I've ever been in a city where they haven't known about Granbury, and the first thought is the opera.
Yes.
Opera House.
Yes.
They have great family memories of coming here, going to the opera at one point in their life. So this is a great impact on our city.
Yeah, and it is. It's going to bring people to the downtown area.
Absolutely.
And maintain the historic. What we have to do is attract people to maintain that historic look in Granbury. It doesn't. I've always told people it costs a lot of money to look old. Okay.
Yeah.
And so you have to keep that up, or it deteriorates quickly.
Yeah.
And that's why people ask us, why do we spend a lot of money or time or effort in looking at the historic area? And it's because you either need to take care of it, or it may very well go away.
Absolutely. And we have one of the best preservation boards. They're
Yes, we
very
do.
strong and very proactive in trying to keep the history and heritage of what we've got.
Yeah, and we're proud of it.
Absolutely. Looking at the construction of the facility, are we pretty much on timeline? Of
Oh
what
yeah,
we're looking at?
you know, the rain hadn't helped the lake, but it's helped the Opera House construction.
Yeah,
okay?
that's true.
Those guys have missed very few days' work, and they're actually a little ahead of schedule, and so we're now working on the events and the process of opening the Opera House, and so we're pretty excited about that. Right now, it's there are shows scheduled for December, and we plan to make those, and it's going to be exciting.
We're going to have a great grand opening.
Yes, it is.
Granbury's
Searchlights and
Yeah, Granbury's going to be really in the spotlight for that
red
one.
carpet, the whole bit.
Absolutely. Well, if individuals want to get involved with the Opera House in any way, maybe be just a foundation partner or join for tickets, how can they get involved?
Well, the first way you can do is that, we're so like Jerry Jones. We're going to sell naming rights, okay? And you can buy and your name on the stairwell, on the lobby, on individual seats, on the rehearsal hall. Your name can be put there for posterity to say you contributed a significant amount of money to have the rights to name that after you, or whoever you want to name it after. We have some interest in that. That's going to help the taxpayers as well, so that it takes down the cost of the Opera House. And so we're excited about that. That's one way to get involved. And it goes the whole range. I mean, it goes from hundreds of thousands of dollars
Sure.
to thousands of dollars or $1,000. So everybody can contribute who wants to, at whatever
Absolutely.
level.
Okay.
You can buy tickets. In fact, the season tickets are going strong already. 200 to 300, I think, have already been sold.
Yeah.
Our goal is to sell 1,000 season tickets. That's a lot of folks. And so you can buy season tickets now, okay, for performances. That'll be coming up. So, and then you can join the Opera Guild. Has been very generous. They've donated they do things to generate, like they're going to put in the curtain, okay? So they've donated things for the curtain. So you generate, assets for the Opera House. And people love that. They love to be a part of the...
Have you seen the cost of that curtain? I mean, they're not cheap.
No. In fact, I don't think they mind us around $25,000.
Yeah.
So, but they've generated that revenue. The money's in the bank. Okay.
Sure.
And so we're feeling real good about that. What I get from the community is that there's this excitement building. They want the Opera House back, and it's coming back, and big time. And if you go by, you'll see how huge the backstage is versus the rest of the building. We did add a lot of square footage whenever we redesigned it, and we made it ADA, compatible. So it's going to be easy to get in and out. The old Opera House, it just was almost impossible for someone with a disability to get in there. Now everything is going to be under state reg, and it's going to be fine, and you're going to be able to really enjoy the
And it
performances.
really looks remarkable, even in its current stage. And we're going to be really excited about it. Well, just looking at other elements of even tourism or the economic impact that events or products can make on Granbury, we have a really incredible airport. And there have been some changes made at the airport and continued changes made at the airport. And a lot of people, when you talk to them about some of the things that we have around town and you talk to them about the airport, they kind of look at you with a blank stare, but they don't really know what goes on there. Talk to us a little bit about the airport and what's happening out there.
Well, for people who love airplanes, it is something that's very important to them. I mean, we have a waiting list of 66 people who want to put their airplane at our airport.
That's amazing.
It is.
It is
for
truly
a little
amazing.
airport like ours. And we're talking, we built 2 hangars recently out there. They're 100 by 100. And so the first one was to bring in Texas Air Evex Regional Maintenance Center, which created 8 to 10 jobs, making 60, 70,000 a year. And there will be 34 different helicopters coming from all over the Southwest to get their maintenance done here. And it's going to be a tremendous, that alone is going to be a tremendous economic impact to Granbury, because these people will be flying in, they'll be staying overnight while their helicopters being maintained, getting maintenance, and they'll be eating at the restaurants, staying at the hotels, shopping at Walmart, the whole bit. And all of the mechanics live either in or near Granbury. So there's people that are actually going to be moving in as well, the new ones that they hire. So all of that is going to combine to be a tremendous impact to Granbury economics. And that's just one facet of the airport. The other is we have built a second hangar that'll house 4 King Air type aircraft. And you go, okay, what is a King Air? Well, it's a $10 million airplane, okay? And we got 4 individuals here in Granbury that own them, okay? So that went real quick,
Yeah.
all right? And to build another 66 hangars of different level of cost of airplane, it's not cheap on an airplane. But we're real lucky here. We have retired executives. We have people who have been very successful in life, who love the quality of life here in Granbury, that live here and like to fly in and out, okay? One businessman flies in and out to Saudi Arabia when, the oil business and gas business, and those kind of things, that we're going to have people flying in from all over the world into Granbury Airport. So that's going to be an amazing type of impact that is not happening right now. But the expansion of the airport from 3,400 feet to 5,200 feet means that we now can land corporate jets and small transports. And that in itself is going to bring businesses who do distribution that can fly in and out of the DFW area without getting mixed up in the DFW traffic. And so that's going to be very important to some businesses that want to relocate here.
And there are very few cities around the state that can have a claim like this with an airport, like we do.
Right. Once we
Unless you get
that,
into the municipal cities, big, larger cities.
And so we're going to be, we're going to be really supplying support to the area where if they have issues at any one airport, they can land at our airport as well. And we will get a tremendous amount of grant money for that. We have already got over $1 million of grant money come in the bank, okay, from different type of grants to build this airport. So we'll eventually end up with a terminal. We're looking for a grant for a terminal. It's going to be a fully functional airport that's going to be, everybody's going to be very proud of.
Incredible. Well, you've heard a lot of the things that are happening around town. We are very excited about our growth and our future as a city. Wayne, I want to thank you very much for what you do and your leadership as city manager. A phenomenal job, and we appreciate your time here this morning. I want to thank you for watching Granbury TV in this monthly segment of our City Managers Report. Thank you.